Okay, good morning, everybody, and thank you all for being here early. I appreciate you coming in and taking some time to listen to some issues that we've had so far this summer that I've heard from our boss and the owner. I hope that this meeting is helpful in combating these issues and that we have a successful summer from here on out. I've noticed 5 things, and the boss has as well, that we've been doing here that we can do better and that have been a problem so far this summer. So first, equipment is not being put away properly. Equipment is not being properly used. Appearance standards are not being met for customers. People are having trouble arriving on time for their shift, and also friendliness and meeting all customer needs has not been as good as it could be. So in this meeting, we're going to take a step-by-step approach on how to combat each of these issues and how to improve on this to have a better experience for ourselves at the driving range and also customers from here on out for the rest of the summer. So first off, equipment being put away. As you all know, there's limited space in the garage, and so if things aren't put away properly, it creates problems for each of us when trying to use that equipment. You all know that shovels go in certain places, rakes go in certain places, mowers go in certain places. So make sure that when you're putting stuff away, that it's in the proper place. You know that mowers are supposed to be lined up 1, 2, 3 in order of use, and when those are put away sloppily and in the wrong place, it creates problems for everyone, and things can't be done as quickly and efficiently as possible. It also creates an issue for people finding tools and things that they need to do their job properly. And when the garage is messy, it reflects poorly on me as a manager and also you who are working there. And having a healthy, clean working environment is good for all of us, and it makes the boss and the owner happy, which at the end of the day is our goal. So also, equipment is being improperly used. And when it is improperly used, it causes equipment to malfunction, which costs money to fix, which is money out of not only the boss's pocket, the owner's pocket, also money out of my pocket, money out of your pocket when all those things continually need to be fixed. So when you're using a lawnmower, make sure that you're not driving at a speed that's not only unsafe but improper use of the mower. You all were trained in on how to use these mowers, so just make sure that you're driving at the proper speed. Make sure that you're not going over any rocks or metals or sand or things that are unsafe for the reels or the blades to be hitting when they're cutting. And when, like I said, when equipment needs to be fixed frequently, it not only creates a headache for the boss, but it also is just money and revenue lost by us as a driving range, which is frustrating for the boss and frustrating for me as well. And so just some examples of things that are being used properly. I already mentioned the mowers being run over maybe rocks or something like that, but also shifting gears. And when you're driving too quickly, make sure that you're putting the clutch on when you're shifting gears on the mowers. Make sure that the steering wheel isn't being turned too hard when you're steering, because that can cause it to shift out of place, which needs to be fixed, and obviously then it can't be used properly. So make sure you're being aware of all those things so that they can be used properly for everyone else. Also, appearance standards are not being met for customers, and this is being voiced by the boss and the owner. Each person was trained in on the tasks necessary to make the driving range aesthetically pleasing, and when those standards aren't met, it creates issues for everyone. So I think a good quote that applies to this for each of us and for the driving range as a whole is, don't do what's easy, do what's right. Make sure that you're doing the proper things. It may take a little longer, but make sure that you're getting each of those things done. Another issue that has been the grass not being cut to the proper level. Each of you know that for the hitting area, that the grass is supposed to be cut to a 1/2 inch. In front of the mat area, the grass can be cut up to 1 inch. And then the putting green is set to the mower for the putting green is set to the proper setting. So all you need to do is turn it on and just start cutting. So there really is no excuse for those standards not being met. Another issue that we've had is equipment being left lying around in the way of customers. There might be a mower in the way of a customer who's trying to go and hit golf balls, or there might be rakes or shovels or things like that left around. So just make sure that after you use something, pick up after yourself and put it away. That'll create a better environment for customers and ourselves as well. Make sure that you're weed whacking and edging the grass properly. We don't want weeds along the edge of the grass. We don't want the grass to look sloppy. Just make sure that you're doing everything to meet those appearance standards. Another big thing is work being left for someone else. Make sure that when you're there for your shift, that you're doing the job you need to get done, and then if you get all those things done, maybe work on something else. But don't leave work for someone else just because it's difficult or you don't want to do it. That's not fair to them. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to anybody who works there. One final thing that I think applies to everyone who's working here is leave everything better than how you found it. I think if each of us does that, there's no excuse for why or there should be no customer complaints, there shouldn't be no complaints from the boss, and there should be no headache for any of us in general in this whole area. Another thing, and I think that this is the easiest thing to combat, another issue we've had, is arriving on time. Make sure that you're arriving about 10 to 15 minutes before your shift, and also make sure that you're accommodating for traffic conditions and weather conditions. If you know that you're leaving during rush hour, maybe add an extra 10 to 20 minutes to your commute. If it's raining in the morning, maybe add an extra 10 to 20 minutes to your commute. So I think that's the easiest thing to do. Make sure you're checking up on the weather the night before and making sure that you're arriving on time, because it creates a headache for other people, and it doesn't allow us to do our jobs as best we can when people are arriving late or not there for their shift. Each of you know when you're supposed to work, so you get the schedule at the beginning of the summer. If there is an issue that you know is going to conflict with your shift, make sure that you tell myself or the bot or the owner before it becomes too close to when you need to work, so we can find a replacement for your shift, and then there's no issue for any of us, and all the operations can run smoothly. So yeah, like I said, just you have the schedule, make sure that you're letting us know well in advance so we can find your replacement. And finally, friendliness and customer needs are not being met. Make sure that you're treating each customer as a valued customer, because they are. And at the end of the day, you're not doing them a favor by being there to work. They're doing you a favor by being there and purchasing golf balls and coming to hit. So we want to provide the best possible customer experience to each customer that comes in, whether they're a professional golfer or it's their first time at the range. This helps us to not only retain business, but also helps us to expand our business. And when we expand our business, that's more money generated by us, and it's more money in your pockets. And at the end of the day, that's better for everyone. So we want to create the best atmosphere possible. Remember that the customer is always right. So if they ask you for something, they are always right. They're the ones coming to spend money on our product or in our business. So go out of your way to meet their needs and surpass their expectations when they come in. Your smallest task is your biggest job, so make sure that you're always meeting their needs and helping them in any way possible. Like I said, just to reiterate this point, be kind and respectful to all customers, whether or not they're a professional golfer or they're the worst golfer you've ever seen. It really doesn't matter. They're spending the same amount of money, and they should be a valued customer regardless. So in conclusion, just to reiterate these points that we've talked about today, make sure that equipment is being put away properly, equipment is being used properly, appearance standards are being met by the range, and you're doing all your tasks to meet those standards. Arrive on time. I think that's the easiest thing to do. Make sure that you're adjusting what time you need to leave for your morning commute if weather or traffic is an issue. And finally, friendliness and customer needs need to be met. So treat all customers with respect and like they're the priority each and every day. And I think doing each of these tasks will not only help each of us who's working here, I think it'll overall make my job easier, your job easier, make the boss happy, the owner happy, and help us to have a great summer overall. So if we can do each of these things, I think that we're going to have a great rest of the summer. And like I said, I appreciate all of you coming in early this morning so that we could address these issues and from here spearhead and have a better rest of the summer. So thank you.